December 7th, Corporal Michael Boucher was honored for his service to our country. A new home was built for him next to his good friend and fellow wounded warrior, Tony Mullis. Michael is not a Hawkinsville native, but wanted to make his home in this middle Georgia town. His new home was presented to him by the Homes for Our Troops charity, which builds homes for wounded veterans just like Michael. Michael arrived to his new home escorted by a motorcade of these patriotic riders, many veterans themselves. The gathering was a great way to honor not just Michael's service, but highlight the service of all our military men and women. They deserve our thanks and honor, especially those who are injured in the line of service.
In place half lift about out. Out. Breathe it. Out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights over ramparts we rushed, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran high, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say it is that star-spangled banner and wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
In place half right about out. Out.
Good morning. My name is Ashley Twig, and I'm a Community Outreach Coordinator with Homes for Our Troops. On behalf of Homes for Our Troops, it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you who have come to share this happy occasion. Today we present this home to Corporal Michael Boucher. give thanks to our distinguished guests for attending, as well as all of our donors, supporters, and volunteers, because without you, this home would not have been possible. Please join me in extending a special welcome to all the members of the military, active duty or retired, and to the Gold and Blue Star families that are here with us today. Let's also thank the many groups that made up the escort to bring Corporal Boucher home. Thank you very much for that. It's now time to hear from our guest speakers. Our first speaker is Congressman Austin Scott.
Michael, Tony reminded me of what you did to him at the last one. And he made some notes on my speech. I'll try not to get too far into it. I'll use some words they don't use in church. I want to thank you for inviting me to be here. It really means a lot to me to be a part of these welcome home ceremonies for our men and our women who go overseas and carry that American flag on their shoulder into hostile lands, so that not only Americans but that other people in the world can be free. I want to thank you, Homes for Our Troops, for doing this. It's just symbolic of how good Americans, and therefore America, is that we have organizations like yours to carry forward with this mission, to do this for the men and women when they come home from overseas. We wouldn't be what we are today as a country if it weren't for organizations like yours. But more importantly, we wouldn't be what we are and who we are today as Americans without those men and women that carry that American flag on their shoulder in the hostile territories. So we're here to celebrate a lot of things. Heroism, promise that our country made as a government, one that I intend to fulfill to our veterans, all of them, and to say thank you to those who are carrying out that additional mission. Now here's where I get into the notes that Tony made, and I'm supposed to do. And every Marine's a rifleman speech except for when there's a white-tailed deer. But I'll skip that part of it. And Michael, our job as a nation is to honor men like you when you come home. We as a country, the men and women of this country, overwhelmingly pray for our troops when they're over there. And I want you to know that. I want you to know we pray in our family for the men and women that are out there serving, and when you come home as well. The perseverance, the dignity, the valor that you have shown, it's just symbolic of what the United States Marine Corps is and needs to continue to be. So again, I want to say congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I want to say thank you to Homes for Our Troops. And I want to recognize your family. If we could get your family to stand up. If we got anybody like that. Thank you. And with that, we'll turn it back over. But welcome home, buddy.
Our second speaker is Brigadier General Dennis Shortall, U.S. Marine Corps retired.
Well, good morning. It's my honor and my pleasure to be here, Representative Scott. If you don't know him, I do know him, and I'll tell you one thing, I'm not in his district. I don't vote for him or anything else, but I just want to tell you, if you live here in his district, you got a tremendous representative of the American values that we have in this country, Representative Scott right here. It's my pleasure to be here this morning, and along with the tremendous effort. By the way, following Representative Scott, this is the second time I've done this in about 4 months. He takes all of my speech, so I just take this and just kind of toss it, and just kind of start off on the cuff. But the idea that the tremendous effort for the Homes for Our Troops, and Ashley and Mr. Gilby, why don't you stand up here and these for our Homes for Our Troops. Stand up here. our pleasure that we're here today to honor and to the deeds of Corporal Michael Boucher here, USMC, retired for his sacrifices and his deeds to our country. You know, he already knows his neighbor here, and he's right over here. Are you two still getting along, is that right? I didn't know, man. I didn't know if I had to bring a fire team down. We got some redcoats back there. We put a fire team here and put a barrier in the I think one of the things both of you are to be commended, you know, for your the way you have, the positive manner, the way you've handled your situation. You know, some folks go in the corner and kind of start whimpering. Neither one of these men have. You know, in the true Marine fashion, they step forward in this positive manner and a positive attitude, and they've set an example for all of us to follow. And we in the Marine Corps, we always say that the best form of leadership is leadership by example. And both of you have done it well, and I thank you for that. And you'll always be with my thanks to the Air Force Color Guard from Prairie High School. Usually I know their names, but this morning there were so many of them, my memory's only this short, and they had this many names. But thanks to them, they did one tremendous job. You saw how professional they were up here. I hope you noticed that. You know, there's also today, you know, we always recognize, in addition to Corporal Boucher and Corporal Mullis and everybody else, there's a lot of us in this audience here that are veterans, and I'd like all of you to stand up and just receive the recognition that you so warmly deserve. Thank you very much. You're a very special group of Americans, and we thank you for your service to our nation. Again, homes for our troops, we wouldn't be here without you today. So thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for putting this together. She's our point of contact, by the way. We go to her for everything. So, and the one thing, by the way, I just fall back here a little. If the Butchers left Hawkinsville, I think you lose a lot of your population. I know they're up from is it Bogart? Bogart, Georgia? Okay. But that's a couple other people I'm going to introduce to you is Ernie Prickett right here in the front row. Ernie, I don't do the hard work here. I'm just the head of the Marine Corps Coordinating Council. You know, all of you troops know that. You know, the troops do the work. And where are you at? Staff Sergeant Brandon Fairbanks? There he is, right back there. He's our Marine Corps representative for Wounded Warriors. Ernie Prickett is our Wounded Warrior representative for the Marine Corps Coordinating Council that I represent. So they're the two individuals that do all the hard work for us. And the last thing I want to just do is talk about you folks here in Hawkinsville. What a great town! What a patriotic town! I come from a town of 400 people in Missouri. The name of it, in fact, is Nowheresville. But I just want to say it's great to be back in small town America, because this is where the hearts of America really hangs out. You know, not in the big cities. Don't say that because I live up by Atlanta nowadays. I just want to thank all of you for your patriotism and your support of our Marines and of all of our military personnel. And to Corporal Mullis and Corporal Boucher, you two have set a heck of an example. You're stepping forward in a positive manner. I see, you know, your business there. I can't wait to come down and try to shoot a whitetail with you. I think I can still point them down range. But keep going. I think there's nothing but better things and bigger things from both of you in the future. Keep your thumbs up. Keep the positive attitude. Keep that positive example that you're setting for all of us. Semper Fidelis to all the Marines. Thank you.
Thank you. Would now like to introduce Michael's father, Jim Boucher.
Hello. Don't do this much. I want to start with today is Pearl Harbor Day, and many people gave their lives then, and then many people stood for safety, security, and freedom for our country and did what they had to do. Michael and Tony went off and did what they had to do. They got injured, and I want to thank all you for helping them to have a safe and secure place to be and live. So everybody with Homes for Our Troops, City of Hawkinsville, people that came from all over, I really just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and our family's heart.
I would now like to introduce Veterans Liaison for Homes for Our Troops, Larry Gill.
Thank you. I'm going to start. First time you'll see a round of applause for a lot of people that are in mourning, but watch this. There's a lot of people in the state of Alabama mourning. I knew that made you Georgia fans very happy.
All of them are mourning.
Well, I just want to go there, but hey, folks, my name is Larry Gill. I'm the Veteran Liaison with Homes for Our Troops, and I want to welcome everybody to this special event. And anybody that's ever served in the military, particularly if you're an infantryman, in the Marine Corps especially, you've always heard the term, hurry up and wait. If you've ever heard that phrase, raise your hands. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Marine, your wait is over. We're here to give you the keys to your new house. I want to share a little understanding with you guys so you'll appreciate my passion for this program. My boss tells me I'm bilingual. I speak Marine and Army. After Grenada, Beirut, and Desert Storm, and one Purple Heart from Beirut, I said, to heck with this, I'm going to do something easy. So I got out of the Marines and joined the Army. While attached to the 82nd Airborne in Baghdad, Iraq, it took another Purple Heart to teach me that none of it's easy. Having said, I want to give a special shout out to all the escort riders that came in. Many of you men and women have served. My two sons and I have grown up in a free nation because of your efforts. And in a lot of ways, this is as much your homecoming, and I want to tell all of you welcome home as well. In late 2003, during my recovery at Walter Reed Army Hospital, I happened across a young soldier with no arms trying to light a cigarette. He was holding the matchbook down with his stump and was pulling the prosthetic hook trying to light a cigarette. And I rolled over in my wheelchair and made a joke about, don't you know cigarettes would kill you. We got around to a typical, hey, what happened to you? Here's what happened to me. And he tells me that he was changing the tire on a Black Hawk helicopter. And at some point during the reassembly, it blew up and severed his arms. And I wasn't an aviator, but I was. You hear stories about that, but this one was particularly close to home because the same type of accident happened to a young soldier near Mobile, Alabama, where I live, Specialist Paul Bush. Well, when I told the sergeant that I was talking to this story, he just broke down. As it turned out, the two of them were changing the same tire. Now, I believe things happen for reasons. There's a reason that he and I were to meet. There's a reason that Tony and Michael have walked away from these explosions. They might be walking away on prosthetic limbs, but they're walking away from them, and their destiny has probably yet to be determined. So, you guys got a lot to work forward to. It's a full-time job providing the inspiration to people that you do. But you'll know why you survived it when that moment hits you. But I'm talking to this young sergeant, and we started piling around the hospital. I knew, talking to him, he was from north of the Mason-Dixon line. As it turned out, he was a sergeant in the Massachusetts Air National Guard, attached as a mechanic to the Black Hawk Squadron in Mobile, Alabama. So, what were the odds of us even meeting? We started piling around, and a week or so later, the founder of the organization, who was a building supervisor, construction supervisor, had seen a story on this young sergeant and had made his way to Walter Reed Army Medical Center, meets up with him, and he says, hey, look, I'd like to build you a house. I don't know how I'm going to do it, how long it's going to take. He said, I've been in the trades for 20 years. I will find a way to get it done. And this young sergeant, as unselfish as you've ever heard, says, well, if you're going to build this house for me because I'm a wounded troop from Massachusetts, he said, I'm not interested. I'm not the only one hurt. He said, you find a way to do it for every other family, you know, at least one other family, so he wasn't singled out. And he said, I'm on board with whatever you need, pictures, interviews, photographs, whatever. And next month, in February, our organization will be 10 years old, and we've built over 150 homes now in like 36 states. So, yeah. So that's what brings us here today. We're part of a program that we launched last year called Home for the Holidays. And we just think it's a good fit for all the love and effort and resources that's been thrown at these projects, as well as Coney's in this community. It's very fitting that this time of the year we present these guys the keys to their new homes. The way that we get it done, as you know, through fundraisers, private, corporate, sponsorships, and it's a never-ending battle, pardon the phrase, to do that. You can see we've got 7 projects. Yeah, I had to look, make sure that was 7 underway near you guys. I'd like to invite all of you to get on our website, find a way to get involved with these other projects, and share the word and let people know who we are and what we're doing. I was recently at the AUSA, Association of the United States Army. It's a big, almost like a builder show, a convention for defense contractors and military folks, and 9 out of 10 people that came to our booth, and we're handing out flyers and brochures, had never heard of Homes for Our Troops. Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We feel that we owe it to our sponsors and donors to put the money into these homes for these wounded troops. So we don't spend a lot of money on national advertising to get our word and our name and our brand out there. So that's my challenge to all of you here today, is to go home, tell 10 people. Who here has less than 10 friends? I want to invite you guys to go home and tell your friends about us. Tell them who we are, who we're helping, and what we do, and tell them we got 7 projects that are just a couple hours drive away. And I'd like to invite all of you to pick one of these programs. To the veterans in the crowd, the Patriot Guard riders, we get a ton of support from you men and women. Legion riders, all those that are here today. I'd like to invite you guys to keep supporting us like you do. And you know, we would be able to do this without the efforts of all the volunteers, the corporate sponsors like Kohler, that provides us with the tubs and faucets and fixtures, Armstrong floors. Kohler also provides us now with the generators for these homes. So, you know, without these corporate sponsors, it'd be kind of tough to do what we do. And having said, I want to call up and introduce our guest of honor, which really needs no introduction. I can tell you that, you know, being an Alabama boy, it took me a while when I was a kid to figure out what the word epitome was. What in the world was epitome? I saw it in a letter somewhere and looked it up, and it was actually epitome. And that's what these men represent, these wounded troops. They are the epitome of what we can expect from our men and women in the service. The can-do attitude should rub off on each and every one of us. And these 2 gentlemen, Michael, you guys are no different. You inspire us. And I want to charge every one of you, the next time you decide to call in sick from work because maybe you're just tired or you don't feel good or maybe you party too much during the weekend, before you make that call to get out of, not to get out of bed and fulfill your civic duties, I want you to think about what these men have been through and what they've had to do, get up and get out of bed every morning. And if that doesn't motivate you to get up and get busy, then call us, we'll come get you up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our guest of honor, Michael Boucher.
Well, apparently they don't really want me getting in my house too often because this is the biggest key. I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming out, supporting me on my future and the rest of my life. And thank you to Homes for Our Troops and everybody else that's helped to make it possible. I'd like to say thank you to Tony for spreading my whitetail deer miss story. If you want the details, you can ask him, and everybody, I'd like everybody, each and every one of you, to ask him one at a time. This name means a lot to me. It means the world to be able to get around in your own house, in your wheelchair, or on prosthetics. To be able to go to the bathroom and not wonder if you're going to be able to get to the shower, or to the toilet, or to the sink. And to be in the kitchen and be able to cook your own meals without having to reach to the back of the stove and wonder if your armpit's going to catch on fire. So this is the most amazing thing that I could have ever imagined. First off, being next to my best friend and partner in crime. He's the trouble and I'm the savior for the trouble. But I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you again, and I do appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you.
I just want to tell y'all, she's coming up here. This is a picture of Tony's, when we did Tony's house over here, and I showed it to my wife. And she said, well, who's the old guy in the Marine uniform on the side? I said, I don't know who that is. Like that, I'll pull this one down. Yes, sir. Yep.
Yes, it is.
You're going to get
I'm going to get that.
It's like giving away one of your children, taking this flag down. Excuse me one second.
No, I don't mind.
Thanks for giving your child to our child.
Yes, sir.
It's a good thing, though. Don't say that too loud.
Sad.
That'll please.
All right, I'll keep a little slack on it for you.
All military personnel, please stand at attention. Knowing the Marines that these guys are,
He made a joke about it only, but trust me, you have to tell these Marines, this key will not fit in the door. You have to tell them that because that's right. This is symbolic. Michael, this is on behalf of Homes for Our Troops. I'm very blessed to be able to give you the keys to your new house. This is symbolic, and it represents the key to your freedom and independence. And you know, we talk about the accessibility of these homes. That loosely translates to the fact that his honey-do list is about to get a lot larger. So I'd like to give you this symbolic key, and I'd like to tell you, I know you've been told welcome home 1,000 times, but with the new keys to your house, it's very special, and say welcome home.
Welcome home.
We're going to say cheese real quick. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Good, thank you.
I said real quick.
Yeah, you don't want to have that party.
Okay, are we ready? All three. 1, 2, 3.
I served in the United States Marine Corps. I did 2 tours to Afghanistan. I was injured in my second deployment. Midway through the deployment, I was hit by an IED, which resulted in the loss of both legs below the knee, and then later ended up losing my legs above the knee to infection.
I just talked with Tony, and he told me a little bit about y'all's friendship. Tell me what the value of friendship is while you're serving your country.
You know, you have a blood family, but once you join the service, you receive another family. You know that they're willing to give their last breath for you, and that you're willing to do the same for them. So it's not even really a friendship. It moves beyond a friendship to a family. It's a large family, and I guess within a family there's friendship. So it's all a giant family.
It was an emotional day for Michael's friends and family. I had the chance to talk with his father about their experiences. What was it like when you realized that your son was going to get this kind of help and this kind of honor today?
Well, it lifted a burden. His mother and I were thinking, well, how are we going to help make sure Michael had a safe place to live? The home we lived in wasn't conducive to someone in a wheelchair or with needing help, needing wider doorways and such, and we had a large group of people in our area help convert part of our house to where he could be more comfortable. But when they said that they were going to build him a house that was just for him, oh man, it was like a parent's dream, because you always want your children to have what they need in life, and this is truly going to make his life wonderful.
I've heard stories that Michael was really excited about moving to Hawkinsville. When y'all found out that he'd be moving away, how did y'all feel?
Well, the first thing was, where's Hawkinsville? and you hear it was kind of near Warner Robins, kind of near Perry, kind of near Cordele, but maybe in between all those. So we found it, and once we got down here and met some of the lovely people here, it's just a small, close-knit community, much like Bogart, where we're from. I mean, Bogart people say, where is it, too, so we know how to feel that way.
Michael's friend and hometown hero, Tony, shared with me about his buddy.
Me and Michael actually met through the Marine Corps before we got hurt, and we both knew we were from Georgia, and we both like hunting and fishing, and that's what we started doing. He'd come over to the house on the weekends, and we'd do a hunting trip. We'd go hunting every morning, every evening, and then we ended up deploying, and I got hurt, and then 2 months later he got hurt, so it was kind of destiny that we actually met in the beginning, and our relationship now has been more than just friends. We're kind of like brothers. I mean, we're able to share things, whether it's prosthetics or how we feel about our day, or if we're having a bad day, we're able to talk to each other about it. So he's became a big part of my family from the start.
Just tell me just a little bit about Amputee Outdoors. Amputee
Outdoors started, we had both had we were doing internships, and we realized that wasn't what we wanted to do, and we started contemplating on what else we could do, and we decided that hunting and fishing was what we enjoyed doing, and we were good at it. We already learned how to climb deer stands. We can climb ladder stands. We don't have to use adaptive equipment except for our prosthetics to get through the woods. And we were like, well, what if we were able to help each other, why wouldn't that help others? If we did just a brother trip, just 4 wounded veterans out hunting and learning everything together would actually bring up their morale, help their the therapy process, and make them more comfortable with whatever injuries they may have.
Larry Gills is the Veterans Liaison with Homes for Our Troops, and he talked with me a little about the charity.
So, being a disabled veteran myself, I've resided to the fact that I can no longer help take care of these guys on the battlefield. So being able to help take care of them in the aftermath, it's very rewarding, both on a personal basis and a professional basis.
Just about how many homes do y'all build a year for guys like Michael?
Well, they vary. We've got anywhere from 30 to 40 homes at various stages, from looking for the land to completion and everywhere in between. We try to budget for 30 to 40 homes a year.
And where can people go to find information about Homes for Troops?
Go to our website. We've got a great feature that shows our projects. A map of the U.S. pops up, and you could pick a project. It's www.hfot, that's short for Homes for Our Troops, USA.org. hfotusa.org.
And one more question. What's one of the biggest challenges or obstacles that y'all's organization encounters in trying to provide these homes for the troops?
Well, probably the biggest obstacle is finding that right piece of property for them. We try to find 3 or 4 that will fit the footprint of the home, and then let the veteran and their families pick which one they like best.
Just tell me what was going through your mind today.
A little bit of every emotion, it's amazing to see that you're getting a house that you can live safely and comfortably in by yourself, and get around in, whether you're on your prosthetics or in your wheelchair, and know that it's a safe place to get around.
I've heard a little bit about your decision to come live here in Hawkinsville. What are you looking forward to as you build life here in Hawkinsville?
Well, first off, being next to my best friend, hanging out with Tony has been, made this process a lot easier for myself to go through. If I'm having a bad day, I can call him, and he can call me if he's having a bad day, and he's in the same position that I'm in, so it doesn't make it so awkward or difficult to talk to somebody about it, because they know what you're going through. They've either been through it or will go through it, so they're there to sympathize and to help you find a way to get out of what you're struggling with.
The citizens of Hawkinsville can be proud of the newest member of their community. These young men and women are an inspiration because despite what they have faced, they press on toward their goals. And Michael is a great example of who these brave men and women are as they return home.